There's a few Tesla fans here in Australia that believe that the NACS Tesla connectors would make sense and we should use them here in Australia. But actually, while they are great in North America, fantastic, in Australia they just don't work and wouldn't work. And here are the reasons why. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Sam Evans. And Tesla's NACS connectors won't be adopted in Australia. Now, one of the reasons why is, well, Australia's very different. We have a different electricity network. We use different power standards. Now, in a development for American EV owners, which is really quite a big positive, SAE International, which is the Society for Automotive Engineers, announced it will standardize Tesla's North American charging standard, or NACS connector, but it won't happen in Australia. Basically what's happening is, the United States are saying, well, we should have a charging standard. Why don't we adopt the one that is the best? And most cars have it already. Makes a lot of sense. But we don't do it in Australia, and a lot of people are asking why. I mean, in the US, for example, automakers like Ford, General Motors, Rivian, Volvo and Polestar, and apparently Volkswagen is about to jump on board, are now adopting NACS, which has vindicated Tesla's comments saying it should be the North American standard. They said that about 6 months ago. They were laughed out of the room, told they were idiots and they were delusional. Really, I'm pretty sure I saw that comment numerous times. And then Jim Farley from Ford, the CEO, came along and said, no, it took me about 30 seconds to make a decision because it was the right way to go. Now, it will be hard for Australia to move to Tesla's connector for one reason. NACS cannot support three-phase AC charging. NACS only has 2 pins for power delivery, whereas three-phase charging requires 4 pins, 3 live pins and 1 neutral pin. In Australia, we have adopted a standard called Type 2 CCS2, which limits single-phase AC chargers to just over 7 kilowatt. To charge your car faster than that with an AC charger in Australia, you need 3-phase, which allows up to 22 kilowatt of charging speed. So if you install 3-phase at your property, you can triple your charging speeds at your home. For some people, that's necessary, unfortunately. Now, I've seen a lot of people say, 3 phases, it's easy. Just do it at your house. It's so easy. And no. It's not easy for some people. That's for sure. I mean, you've got to consider the fact that half of Australians now live in apartments. It's not easy. So, yeah, 3-phase is great, but fortunately, you don't have to have 22 kilowatt charging speeds if you live in an apartment. And if anyone recommends that to you, that's a bit stupid. Really, for the average person who drives, 40 kilometers a day, a standard 7 kilowatt charger is more than enough. We call that a trickle charger. In theory, though, NACS can deliver 22 kilowatt on single-phase power because it is rated to 277 volt AC and 80 amp. Now, solarquotes.com.au says that power is voltage times current, and 277 times 80 equals 22.16. But to get the full 22 kilowatt would require stepping up the 230 volt delivered by the grid and pulling 80 amps from a single phase, which is either over the limit of many residential supplies or pushing the main breaker's capacity. Basically, it just doesn't really work. There's technical solutions to this. The home charger, EVSE, could combine 3 phases of 26.6 amps into a single phase before delivering it through a NACS connector. The EVSE could also increase the voltage internally, so it is actually, in theory, possible. Now, why did Tesla design their own connector? The NACS connector is an elegant design. People say it's slim. It's about a fifth the size of a CCS charging cable. It's far lighter. It's more efficient. It's actually better in every single way. It uses the same 2 pins for charging with AC and with DC, compared to the clunky Type 2 CCS2 arrangement, which has separate pins, or basically, from what it looks like to the average person, has 2 different charging spots. Anyone who has charged an EV in Australia will remember feeling shocked at the size of a CCS2. It looks massive, and for smaller people, it's sort of awkward. However, the adoption of Tesla's NACS connector by SAE International will make charging work better in the US, and the charging experience will be simpler for Americans, so it's a good move. But you won't be seeing it in Australia anytime soon, says solarquotes.com.au. The reason being that our electrical infrastructure favours the Type 2 CCS2 connector, and changing that over to NACS would be a massive pain in the behind in terms of so many things would need to be changed. Now, there's a lot of people I've seen on particularly Facebook groups like ones for electric cars in Australia, where people are just getting very angry, extremely angry and worked up and aggressive, exceptionally aggressive. In fact, when people talk about charging standards and when people propose we should use Tesla NACS chargers in Australia, which some people have done so, they're being just torn apart by these incredibly aggressive people. And I don't know why the people are acting that way. I think what really is the best thing to do here is just to work with people, help them understand why Australia is different to North America. And people will probably usually accept that. But if you come at them from a position of just trying to scream at them, which is what's happening all over social media, and it was actually really disheartening to see some of these people make these kinds of comments. I personally would be moderating these forums and kind of making them a bit more friendly, because we want people to be people who adopt EVs and people who are really supporting the movement. We want to support them. We don't want to tear them down. So I propose, if people do have this discussion and say, we should adopt Tesla NACS connectors in Australia, have a discussion. Discuss why the reasons are. NACS chargers are not really suited to Australia, why too many things would need to be changed for it to work. That's what I suggest. Now, if you see other people, and I've seen it so many times, that's why I'm bringing it up within this case, in some of these groups, on these message boards and Facebook groups and things, just like tearing into people, get together. Don't support that. Tell them that's wrong. You don't need to be that aggressive. You don't need to be a psychopath and be someone who's acting like the world's coming to an end because someone proposes a Tesla NACS charger. The reality is, though, it's true that CCS2 is better in terms of what we have now. Now, if we'd started from a different position here in Australia, that would be different. Unfortunately, though, we haven't. And this is where we are. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And thank you for watching.